Good morning. It's happened to all of us. We're walking along, minding our own business, or perhaps enjoying a conversation with a friend, and all of a sudden we see him out of the corner of our eye. He's wearing 2 or 3 layers of clothes. He's dirty, he's unkempt, and it looks like he hasn't showered perhaps for months. And there he is, making his way between the cars as they're stopped for a light, and in his hand he has a small cup, and he's using that cup to tap on the windows to try to get people to roll the window down and give him some money. Ridiculous, you think to yourself. Why doesn't he just clean himself up and get a job? And then the good part of your conscience kicks in. I really should give him something, and what if he's desperate for food? Oh, he'll probably just use it to buy drugs and alcohol, and I certainly wouldn't want to contribute to his problem. And so we walk by, feeling justified that we have not contributed to the problem, feeling justified in our own mind that we've done what we can. You know, living in Chicago, there are panhandlers on every street corner. They're selling roses, cotton candy, candy bars, bottles of water, gym shoes, you name it. You can find it on a street corner in Chicago. Sometimes they have nothing but that small cup, and as they walk again between the cars, trying to solicit money from people who are stopped. Giving money to the homeless is something that we all struggle with from time to time. We want to help, but we're all too familiar with our mother's words and her reasons for not giving money to beggars. I recall my mom would often say, "The best help is a shelter, not a dollar." You're only going to give them money that they're going to use on something bad. I want us to look together at the case for not giving to panhandlers and also the case for giving to them. And then finally come to perhaps some type of response that we might have to this issue. So was Mom right? Is there a case to be made for not giving? We've all heard the reasons from time to time why people don't give. I don't give money because, frankly, if I did, I wouldn't have any of my own money left. Or how about the second one? I don't give money because, you know, those people they could be scamming me or using my money to buy drugs or alcohol. It might interest you to know that the recent studies done at the Department of Housing and Urban Development found that 6 out of 10 beggars, if you will, panhandlers, do have an addiction problem. The studies also show that the average panhandler can make anywhere from $150 to $250 a day. That's a lot of money. But since panhandlers have no way of saving their money, they tend instead to spend most of their money very quickly. The focus is more on their short-term needs as opposed to any type of a long-term plan. But since this is still true, and this is a reality, the study also found that there is a dependency upon drugs and alcohol, and that this is a serious problem. Many a panhandler has been caught walking back to their car at the end of a long day on the street. A friend of mine once spotted a panhandler that had a couple of dogs, so he went to a nearby store and he purchased some dog food, and he came back out and he handed the food to the beggar and said, "I bought some dog food for your dogs." And the man became very angry and said, "What do I need dog food for? I've got all kinds of dog food back at my house." I guess actually what he was looking for was money. It would appear that the case for not giving to panhandlers is certainly strong, but I would also suggest that the case for giving should also be part of our consideration. Many would argue that, you know, if I want to put 50 cents into a cup and it feels good to me, well, then it's a justifiable donation. Some people would argue that giving cash to the needy is really a more efficient way to meet human needs. They would argue, you know what, if I give my money to a charity, there are administrative costs and overhead costs, but if I put my money directly in the hands of a beggar, it's fast, it's easy, and it's guaranteed to be spent immediately. Unemployment benefits can go a long way, but folks have to prove that they're looking for work. $1 from your hand to the hand of a homeless person carries no such strings. The next time we see a homeless person and think, boy, I wish they'd just clean themselves up, we might instead have some compassion on them. We might think for a moment about the rough life and the rough circumstances that they may have had to endure. Child abuse. Many of them had very, very rough lives. The homeless often need from us more than money. They need money, but they also need direction. For most homeless folks, that direction includes both money and also a roof over their head. Well, what should we do? Organizations can obviously do more for the needy than we ever could with a small amount of change that we give out of our back pocket. But does that mean we should never, ever give? I'm certain that there are circumstances and cases where donations to a specific needy panhandler or beggar is justified. But the ultimate danger in panhandling is that we can't give to everyone. There's not enough change in our purse or in our pocket. We choose to donate money then based on the perceived level of need. And do you know, beggars know this, so there's an incentive on their part to exaggerate the need, either by lying about it, lying about their circumstances, or letting their appearance deteriorate rather than seeking help. If we drop change into a beggar's hand without donating to a charity, we're acting more often than not to relieve our own guilt rather than trying to do something about the overall problem with poverty and homelessness. In short, both sides fall really short, being lured into this sense of relief rather than looking for a lasting solution, to the structural problems of homelessness. So in conclusion, it's a difficult choice to make whether we decide for the case to give or not give to panhandlers. Both cases have merit, and in the end it comes down to our own personal decision on how best to respond to this growing problem. Having shared this, however, it's really clear that each of us should think this issue through clearly and then respond accordingly. What we should not do, however, is nothing.